Welcome to the Canadian Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series on Massage Therapy Radio. I'm Felicia Brown, and I'll be your host for this interview and series. This is one of several broadcasts with the presenters and experts who are appearing at the Canadian Massage Conference November 4th through 6th, 2011 in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the 2011 Canadian Massage Conference sponsors, the Vitality Depot, Lackner McClellan Insurance, Massage Therapy Canada Magazine, Biotone, Massage Warehouse, the Registered Massage Therapist Association of Ontario, and Hand and Stone for making this year's event possible. Our special guest today is Doug Alexander. Doug and I will be talking about his 3-hour workshop at the Canadian Massage Conference, teaching home care your clients will actually do. But before we get started, let me tell you a little about Doug. Doug Alexander has been a massage therapist for over 25 years. He remains fascinated by the human body-mind as well as the essential role and transformative power of touch. He is a professor in the massage therapy program at Algonquin College in Ottawa and the owner of TouchU.ca, an online multimedia continuing education business for massage therapists. Doug has a keen interest in integrating science, art, and feeling in massage therapy. He is currently exploring somatics through body-mind centering and Soma Soul training. Doug, welcome once again to the Canadian Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series. As always, it's wonderful to have the chance to talk with you today specifically about your 3-hour class, Teaching Home Care Your Clients Will Actually Do.
Thanks, Felicia. It's great to be here.
Well, as always, we're glad to have you here, and I love the title of your topic. But before we get into that, I want to ask you, what are you most looking forward to at the Canadian Massage Conference this year?
I'm looking to get energized. You know, that time of the year is tough. I teach full-time at a community college massage therapy program, and, you know, the students have had their midterms, and some of them had wake-up calls, and we're just getting ready for this sort of like the final sprint for the final 6 weeks or so of school. So it's nice to get out of town, and it's nice to, kind of reorient and get away from, you know, is this on the test, to really much more fundamental questions like, what is this, you know, that we do, and how fabulous is it, and how fabulous are massage therapists? So I'm looking forward to getting out of town and meeting people and really, sort of getting a fresh perspective on massage therapy once again.
Oh, me too. I'm all with you on that. I think it's a great chance to get away and renew yourself and remember why you do what it is that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And now, besides that, are there any other reasons that you recommend registered massage therapists attend the Canadian Massage Conference?
Oh, I'm telling you, man, this is a bargain. I think it's $40 to get into the conference. And for that, you get to shop at the trade show, which is gigantic. And, normally at a conference you spend $400 to get in. And then, if you've got anything left over, you can spend at the trade show. So here it's a $40 hurdle to get in. And then you've got all these free 1-hour seminars. So you could basically go, like for the weekend, spend $40 to access all this fabulous educational content and shop like mad. So that's why massage therapists should go. It's, a really cheap, fun, high-energy way to get a lot of continuing education.
Definitely. And in addition to those free 1-hour courses, like what you were mentioning, there are a number of 3-hour courses that people can register for, as well as some full-day workshops that you're teaching. One of the 3-hour classes they can register for is your class, Home Care, that your clients will actually do. And I'd like you to tell me, what is this about?
It's about frustration. It's the age-old, thing about massage therapists. We love our clients to bits, but, we kind of throw ourselves against their unyielding flesh, sort of the drywall of their bodies, and after a while, a lot of us feel like, I don't think I'm really being met halfway here. Maybe I'm being met 10% of the way, and I'm, reaching 90%. So, we got this whole thing where, people often become, really attached to us, which is really nice. but they become dependent on us. They pour the tension in, and we kind of grind or wring it out of them, and then they go off and pour it in again. So this gets boring, eh? I mean, amongst other things, it's frustrating, and we get all sorts of overuse syndromes ourselves when we become overly responsible for our clients. And I'm easily bored, so once I feel like I'm getting in a rut with someone, it's tough to really be genuinely present, and it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to me. So so this course sort of springs from, that's quite a bit of the ground of what motivates me to offer this thing.
Well, I tell you, it sounds like what you're telling me is that this is, in a way, mental self-care for therapists, and perhaps some physical self-care, as well as care for the client and engaging them as a member of the team, the treatment team, instead of the therapist doing all the work. Am I on target about that? Yeah,
absolutely. I think there's a problem, that's pretty endemic in our profession, which is us really, being asked to take care of people. So I think we fulfill kind of a mothering role, and in our culture, mothers nurture, and they really sort of hold us, and hold how fabulous we are. And then, sadly, it's sort of the father often that has the other kind of part of that, which is, really sort of motivational, and that really hurts, son or daughter. Here, let me dust you off, and you might want to look left before you hop on that again. So there's a whole thing about massage clients coming to massage therapists to be taken care of, and then we go right up against that when we ask them to do things to take care of themselves, because generally that's not why people come. So the course sort of explores that kind of thing to begin with, which is how do we what can we do to change the clinical environment so that the client understands from the outset, that we're partners in this thing, that we're there for an hour with them, once a week or once a month, but they're in their bodies 24/7 for the rest of their lives. So if they actually learn something that changes things for them, then we've affected them for the rest of their lives. So, for example, people commonly learn from massage therapists that if a muscle's sore, if they injure themselves, they put ice on it, which is, kind of standard for us, but it's news for them. So there's a whole thing about framing that. And I haven't stuck to the script at all here.
No, that's okay. That's perfect. And
that's just what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's all about creating a conversation, and I think that's a perfect answer. I guess what I would say, Doug, is, okay, so we're trying to teach people home care and have them become a part of the process. It really sounds simple, but why is it a problem? I mean, why aren't people doing that naturally?
Right. Yeah, why don't people do what's good for them? That's a long-standing question. And, there's a lot of research in the psychological field around how people change health-related behaviors. So I've looked at this and actually learned quite a lot of useful things. So I'm sharing that in the workshop. So psychologists have studied how people change health-related behaviors like quitting smoking or exercising more, or losing weight, or changing their diet, and so on. And people who do change their health-related behaviors, it's not pretty. It's not linear. It's this whole kind of thing that's sort of trundling down the tracks. But what they have noticed is that there are these characteristic stages that people go through who successfully change a health-related behavior. So there's a whole model around that.
Well, that's excellent. I'm excited to learn more. I'm hoping I can get into your class and learn more about this. So it sounds like what you're saying is that people don't do stretches or other self-care for a lot of different reasons. Some of it is they want to be mothered. Some of it is that they're not ready to change their behavior.
Yeah, let's look at that saying around how people change behavior. So in this model, basically, if you look at a group of people So it could be people who are smoking, or people who are overeating, or people who, are people who have got chronic neck pain and headaches and aren't really doing anything effective about it. So they would fall in that category too. So when you've got a bunch of people with, a certain kind of a problem and that are not actively working on it, then basically 40% of those people fall in this category of pre-contemplation, which is basically they've got no plan to work on this anytime in the near future. And then you've got 40% of the people are thinking, maybe this is something I should do something about. And then only 20% are actually in the stage where they're actively planning to change their behavior to help themselves. So if you've got a client, and we've got this crazy thing. We think someone's going to get a massage, and then, they've got this upper trapezius trigger point or something. We're going to teach it to them, and they're going to start stretching. Well, no, this explains why, only one person in five is actually ready to actually take action. So rather than, blaming and shaming and, the people who aren't ready to take action, I think we need to just really appreciate the dynamics at play here. And so basically, those people, the pre-contemplators, there's a reason, that they're not planning on changing their behavior. And that's often because they have tried. Say for smokers, who, they're not thinking about changing their behaviors because they've tried 2 or 3 times or a dozen times and they failed. And, that's really, they're in a place where they feel that there's nothing they can do to help themselves. So most complex problems that we suffer from, we've actually tried, to help ourselves. And if we still have the problem, then we've, quote, failed one or many times. So that person, what they need is not to suddenly take action, because they've taken action and they failed. They need to learn, from how they failed. And there's a lot of things that need to happen. So when you've got a client in pre-contemplation, the goal is not to get them to take action. The goal is to actually shift them toward contemplation, or simply thinking about the problem and learning more about it and so on. So, and then people who are contemplating, whether they might want to change things or everything, it's not right to get them to take action, because they're not going to be successful either, probably, because they're ignoring or jumping past the planning stage. So what this model does, it allows you to identify where a client is at, and really be respectful and support them in actually the next natural stage of development or of improvement in terms of their relationship to their challenges. So that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to find out more about this model in the course.
That's really amazing. I'm sitting here listening to you, thinking about my own practice. 17 years of being a therapist myself, and thinking of all the times I've recommended a particular stretch or some hydrotherapy or Epsom salt bath or whatever, and then the clients come in and said, oh, well, did you do the stretch I showed you, or did you use ice? No. I thought about it, but I didn't do it, or I didn't read the email, or I lost the paper, or whatever, excuse. And I feel, I'm thinking, oh, gosh, this class is for me, because I know what I've said is, well, the stretch doesn't work unless you do it, and, that's so not helping them. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I've done the same thing.
Yeah, I've probably been the scolding mother, shaking my finger at them, saying, well, if you don't eat your vegetables, you're not going to grow up to be big and strong. And I'm glad that there's another option out there. Yeah,
there's much more. I've done that, and there are much more respectful and effective ways to help people. But yeah, we need a little bit of training to to sort of really kind of reframe things. So yeah, you need to have a sense of this process, and really we need to develop a sense of loving kind of softness or gentleness toward ourselves. Because if we don't have that toward ourselves, then we really can't provide that for other people. So really, what we're going to do in the course is, we're going to do a little bit of theory at the beginning, but then we're going to sort of explore the stages of change model. And I'm going to ask people to uncomfortably, or it's an uncomfortable idea perhaps, but to take a few minutes and think about some kind of health-related behavior that has been challenging for them to try to change. And, this isn't to sort of psychoanalyze everyone, but really it's to help people understand, the complexity of how difficult it is to change, to fundamentally change a complex issue. And that'll give us some utility around the model and identifying, what pre-contemplation is about or contemplation or planning and so on. And then we're going to work with some clinical scenarios of, different common kind of massage things that, people face. And we'll be applying the model and practicing different, different tools from there. So, I can talk about this till I'm blue in the face, but if people let themselves be a little bit vulnerable and admit, how difficult some things are for themselves, and then they realize, wow, this is really challenging, and how can I help myself? Then we look at the model with clients, and people are going to actually practice, employing the model with each other. So they practice the words, and I'm going to have some handouts, little pictures, and they're going to shoot them back and forth. They're going to explore things, so that, if I apply the stages of change model to this workshop, 40% of the people in the workshop are really probably not ready to substantially change their practice pattern.
Right.
40% of them are really open to thinking about, making some plans about that, and 20% of them are probably ready to make a significant change. So that 20%, they're going to be fully supported. But the other 40 and 40% are also going to be supported. So we're going to help shift the people who feel, some of them will self-select. You're not going to take a course like this if you feel like there's no point in teaching people self-care. But we're all pretty stuck. A lot of us are pretty stuck in a lot of ways. So, so we're going to actually lovingly apply the model to ourselves and around shifting our own behavior, clinically in terms of supporting people. And there's a little bit of a ground in how we face our own challenges in a health basis. And then how can we really, help people in a way that's a bit more effective and respectful,
right.
of really what their needs are.
Right. Well, it sounds like basically what you're talking about is, understanding the mindset that is there, and then placing ourselves in the shoes of our clients, take on that role during this class, so that we can see how our clients are experiencing things. And as I said, just thinking about how I've talked to my clients about certain home care things, I'm thinking, wow, how would I feel if somebody scolded me for not doing such and such?
Yeah.
So it's getting into that mindset and using a little bit of psychology maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of psychology, and it's like, it's not just like, I'm not going to scold people and say, no, don't say that. That's so terrible. It's like, well, what are you going to say then? Like, how are you going to support people? So it's really, it's a pretty compassionate kind of trip around, really accepting, that being human is a lot of work. Often. Not always a lot of work, but, there's a lot of work sometimes. So, we're going to take a gentle approach, but we're going to learn some skills and practice them, and it should be quite a bit of fun too.
It sounds like it sounds like a great class. It's one I definitely hope that I can make time to attend while I'm in Canada. I know we've kind of skipped around a little bit, but is there anything else that you want to share about the course, or just advice that you would give to people about providing effective home care for their patients or clients?
Yes, I do. It just came to me too. When I'm teaching massage students, I often have this thing where, like, the massage student, their shoulders are up around their ears, and they're like sort of violently trying to, force this person's muscles to relax. And I say something like, like someone's flesh is like a child. Children don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. Oh. So if you've got all this tension in your body and you're, worrying about getting the treatment done on time and whatever, then, why should their body listen to you and respond in a relaxing way? Like, we really are connected. And the same thing goes with this. Who are we? Like, I'm certainly not someone who really has any right, to point my finger at someone else, although it hasn't stopped me. So, really being a good facilitator of someone else's, healing or, health improvement starts with ourselves. And we cannot go much beyond, like, what, if at all, beyond what we actually embody ourselves. So that's I think that's a pretty hard truth, but I think it's the truth. So I'd encourage people to to think about, their own health behavior and what they find difficult, and really be gentle with themselves, because we often go, oh, this is wrong, I better do something. So they move right from, pre-contemplation to thinking they have a problem and then taking action. And they haven't really explored the issue fully. And you're gonna fall and land on your butt, and you're not going to be successful, which can be discouraging. So I'm all about slowing it down, and really exploring, where we're at and what we need to learn next. So thankfully, none of these massage problems, are sort of life-threatening and they need immediate action, or something really terrible is going to happen. So we can take our time and learn. And I hope everybody has a great time at the conference and takes their time and learns whatever there is, that's ripe for them.
Well, I think that's all excellent advice about the home care. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to taking that at the conference. Now, some people are not going to be able to make it to the conference, but would still like to learn more about you and the other classes that you offer. Will you share your website and contact information with everyone, Doug?
I'd love to. I have a continuing education website, which is touchu.ca. It's also known as massagetherapypractice.com. And I sell a self-care manual that we personalize for different people's clinics and stuff. It actually teaches, with words and images, all the common self-care strategies that we teach people. So, if people are looking for a tool like that, then that's available. And I hope in the future to create a course that is really about like this kind of material, which is really, how do you facilitate change in clients? Because, we kind of assume that someone has a great massage and then they're going to just like want to do what we suggest.
Right.
And did you do what your mother suggested? After she gave you all that mothering? Yes and no. So, there's a lot of learning required there. If people want to know more about that stuff, the best material for that right now, if you look at Stages of Change on Google, and you type in Prochaska, 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 then you'll find a bunch of people exploring that for all sorts of health behaviors, and you can sort of take a spin on that and give it a twist.
Excellent. Well, I definitely encourage people to come to your class and to explore the resources that you mentioned. But, of course, right now I want to invite everyone to come to the Canadian Massage Conference. I'd like to tell you a little more about it and all the great things that you can expect at this year's conference. The Canadian Massage Conference is actually Canada's largest exhibition of massage products, continuing education, and new business opportunities for therapists of all disciplines. This year's conference will feature over 50 exhibitors, continuing education classes of 1 hour, 3 hour, and 1-day workshops, including Doug's class that we've been talking about today, Friday and Saturday night receptions, and a private dance party at Club 54's Retro Room, which is going to be a ton of fun. It's being held adjacent to the conference hotel. As Doug mentioned earlier, the registration cost for the conference is just $40, which includes admission to the trade halls and all 1-hour presentations, as well as participation in raffles and giveaways of literally thousands of dollars in prizes, between class coffee breaks, and loaded goodie bags. Attendees will also have access to many special offers and promotions from the vendors and exhibitors on hand, as well as the chance to have a fantastic time with friends and colleagues. Now, for students, the conference offers a free student day and Smart from the Start program on Sunday, which is sponsored by Massage Warehouse and the Registered Massage Therapists Association of Ontario. This day is dedicated to massage therapy students who are currently enrolled in school or who graduated in 2011 and includes a free gift bag for the first 250 students. Also on Sunday, the RMT Career Fair, sponsored by Hand and Stone, will be held from 1 to 3 p.m. and is free to all registrants, including students. All of this is happening at the Conference Hotel. That's the Burlington Holiday Inn, and I definitely suggest you make plans to stay there if at all possible. Single and quad rates are just $121 a night, but space is limited, so please make your reservations now. Also, Massage Therapy Canada is printing the Canadian Massage Conference event program inside an issue of their magazine. This will be given out at the conference and distributed throughout Canada to over 5,000 registered massage therapists. So if you are a vendor or an educator who's listening in today and you want to get some great exposure for your products or classes, please contact Christine Livingstone at Massage Therapy Canada for details on being a part of the conference program. Okay, now if you're ready to register for the Canadian Massage Conference, November 4th through 6th in Burlington, Ontario, to meet Doug and the other amazing presenters at this year's event, there are now 2 ways to do so. First, you can register online and pick your courses instantly at the official conference website, www.canadianmassageconference.com. You can also register by phone. The call is free and operators are waiting at 877-387-9111. That's 877-387-9111. We also invite you to stay connected with us on Facebook at facebook.com/Canadian Massage Conference. Again, the 2011 Canadian Massage Conference is made possible by all of our wonderful sponsors. Thank you so much to the Vitality Depot, Lackner McClellan Insurance, Massage Therapy Canada Magazine, Biotone, Massage Warehouse, the Registered Massage Therapy Association of Ontario, and Hand and Stone. I hope after today's broadcast, everyone listening is ready to come to the Canadian Massage Conference and register for this 3-hour class as well as both of the one-day workshops with Doug Alexander. Thank you so much, Doug, for taking the time to talk with me today and for sharing your vast knowledge on home care and massage in general. I know everyone is really looking forward to your class, including me.
Thanks for faking. Thanks for making me feel so welcome, Felicia. I'm looking forward to that weekend.
Well, we all are. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Doug. And in the meantime, this is Felicia Brown, and on behalf of everyone from the Canadian Massage Conference and Massage Therapy Radio, I want to thank you for tuning in to this broadcast of the Canadian Massage Conference pre-conference broadcast series. Please remember to tune in each Monday through October 31st for more interviews and to visit massagetherapyradio.com for replays of all the interviews in the series. I'd also like to invite everyone to consider joining us in San Diego, California in April 2012 for the American Massage Conference. You can learn more details about that at AmericanMassageConference.com. Thanks again for tuning in and have a fabulous day.